What's up, family? Welcome to Positive Power Double XI, J. Royce Films. I'm Jerry Royce Live, and you're watching The Red Room with Shay Samuels, right here on Music Vision Television. That's right, MVTV-21.com. It's going to be awesome, y'all. So please share this file. It's going to be awesome. You know what's going to be? It's going to be lit.
Welcome to another episode of The Red Room. I'm your host, Shay Samuels, and as always, we want to say welcome. You are in for a treat. As always, in for a treat. Do not go anywhere. Do not turn the dial. I want you to stay right here. Invite a friend who knows a friend who knows a friend, because you're going to be blessed once again. As always, we have amazing guests who have amazing testimonies, who are blessing each one of you every time you watch, including myself, and I'm the host. We will not sell you short on this show today. We have none other than DB Jr. That's right, DEEBEE Jr. You have seen his father on past episodes of the Red Room, Coach David Benton, and we just had to have the son that he's always talking about on with us. Today, you're going to hear a bit of a testimony. So I want you guys, if you have sons, if you have cousins, even if it's uncles, if you have a male in your life that needs to understand the power of overcoming the stereotype, this is the show we want you to watch. But before I go into the show, I want to introduce DB Jr., but I want him to tell you a little bit about him and who he is. So DB Jr., welcome to the Red Room.
Thank you. How y'all doing?
So tell our viewers a little bit about you.
All right, so long story short, I'm just a 23-year-old dude, just thriving to just live my life, have a good time, and pretty much I've been inspired to do music back in like 2018, because really my inspiration, really what started it, I was just doing it for fun. And then somebody told me, they was like, you should go ahead and stick around with doing it. So I just went ahead and just kept on doing it. And after that, we just took it from there.
I love it. I had the privilege of hearing one of your first songs. And, you know, I got to be honest, we didn't think you were going to make it.
And I didn't think I was either.
We didn't think you were going to make it. But here's the thing. What I love is your persistency is so powerful. As you guys know, these shows these shows, just the power of persistency. I'm going to tell you, so you are aware, his connection and internet went out. And I want to show you the power of persistency. He didn't give up. He did not give up. And this is so uncommon in his generation, because as soon as things don't look like they're supposed to, they give up. And so DB Jr. is going to talk to your young men today about the power of never giving up. So we're going to go ahead and get started. DB Jr., your father did 13 years of a 15-year sentence. And that means for you, you did not grow up with him in your life. And yet you still overcame the levels of stereotype of possibly following in his footsteps, possibly going out and selling drugs, possibly getting connected to gangs, possibly deciding there's a different way for you to make money, and did not decide to do that. So that means for me, you overcame the stereotype. Tell me what clicked in your head when you were growing up, one, without your father, but two, to say, you know what, there's another way of life, and this is how I'm going to live it.
Pretty much, I did not want to follow in the same footsteps as my father told me not to do. And also on top of that, I just wanted to thrive for success, because I've seen other people, of course I've had people try to get me into doing what they want to do, which is peer pressure. So they're like, you know what? Hey, David, you should do this with me, or you should do this. And I always to try to steer clear of those situations, because I knew I would get myself into trouble trying to do it. Yeah. So since I kept myself clear out of those situations, I kept thriving more and more and more. I just kept on pushing through. And then of course it got more rough when you go into middle school and then you go into high school. Like people really try to get you into like their situations, and you don't want to be in those like bad situations, influences. I'm gonna say bad influences. So I just kept on doing me, and I knew like what I wanted to do with my life, because I know originally my first plan was to do YouTube, but I was like, how am I approach doing it? So pretty much like, even though I didn't have like my dad with me during like physically, he was still there with me like through the phone. Like he was like encouraging me to help me like thrive to do what I want to do. He's like, hey son, make sure you do this, and make sure you like pretty much thrive to do this, because he like pretty much encouraged me to get like a job, because I was nervous to get one at first. Of course, me being like a 16-year-old dude, I was like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. It's gonna be like a new environment. It's not like how school is. I'm gonna be making my own money. That was the beauty of it, making your own money on top of that. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. I'm ready for the challenge. And that's what you gotta think about, because you gotta overcome any challenges that you go through. You know what I'm saying? The thing in life, if you overcome each and every challenge, then you'll thrive for success, even if it's like something hard and just like something that you don't even think is possible. You know what I mean? You gotta take that chance and go for it. Because if you don't take that chance and go for it, you never know if it could have been the best decision you ever made in your life. And even if it fails, you got to stay persistent and just keep on pushing forward. You know, if you keep on pushing forward, then, oh man, it can take you long ways, long ways. I kid you not. So that's when I pushed forward. And then, of course, I never thought I'd see myself in that position to get that job. And then over time, I did so good at it, even though it was a little rough starting out, because it was my first job and I worked at Burger King. We kept on going. I kept on working. And then eventually I became a team leader. And it was like, team leader, I don't know if I want to do that. And I told them that twice. They was like, hey, you should be a team lead, Dave. And I'm like, should I? I don't know if I want to. So I eventually accepted it. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I told my dad about it too. He's like, go ahead and take that opportunity, son. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Because, of course, there was more money on top of that. I took that opportunity, best decision I ever made. Good. And then it grew me more as a leader. And then over time, I think it was a year and a half later, they asked me to become a manager. I was like, become a manager? Now y'all really tripping.
All because you took the first step. All because you took the advice of your father to say, go ahead and get the job first and foremost. If you didn't listen to him, you would have been in the position to even have the manager role in the first place. But go ahead.
Exactly. And that's why, like, every opportunity y'all have, y'all got to go for it, even if it seems like crazy, because everything happens for a reason, you know? So, as soon as I took that manager position, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it and see what happens. And of course, there was many trials and tribulations trying to get through it first. But eventually, over time, they said I became one of the best managers in that store.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And see, here's the thing. What we're missing now with our youth is they don't want to work anymore. Unfortunately, not every, because clearly I know you as a young man, but there's a lot of youth out there who are your age and they feel entitled. They feel like, listen, I want money and I want it now. It's like that commercial. It's my money and I want it now. But nobody wants to work for it. So if you heard what he said, whether you are a youth or an adult who just felt like, listen, I don't feel that I have what it takes. I don't feel qualified. There's someone in your ear telling you to just go for it. And so for David, he had many, DB Jr., he had many of support. He had plenty of support, and he had many people in his corner that one was saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. And he had other people in his ear saying, this probably would be better for you. And that might have been the right direction. So what that says to me is you had to choose your path. You had to choose what you were going to listen to. So talk to the youth today. Want someone that may be listening, talk to them that may have that peer pressure that you had that may have been in a position where they have chosen even to go in the direction you chose not to go in. Talk to that youth today about what they need to do to overcome those opportunities.
All right, so long story short, if you go in the wrong direction to overcome those opportunities, you're gonna need to like pretty much, you're gonna need to set yourself to do the right thing. Like you can't let those people guide you to the wrong direction, because even if you did go into that wrong direction, there's always a way to come back from it. You know, there's always a way to come back from it, no matter what, because everybody has their trials and tribulations in life, and life has its up and downs. But even if you're at rock bottom, you're always going to come back up if you really put the work in. So that's the thing about it. So even if you go in that wrong direction, don't get discouraged, because like I said earlier, everything happens for a reason, and you have a story and your story is being told. But of course, there's going to be a climax to the story, because, you know, like in school, we learned the setting, then you got the rise in action, the climax, and then you got the resolution as you fall back down. That's pretty much how your story is. And that happens like constantly. It's like a movie. Like your life is like a movie. So of course there's gonna be like action that happens throughout it. So you gotta of course solve that solution, because they always have a solution they solve at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying? So it happens, y'all. It happens. So that's why y'all gotta keep on pushing forward, no matter what the situation is. Like even if it's like hard, you gotta keep on going.
I love it. Now, here's a couple of things that I know personally, and I want you to share with some of the youth today that may be listening, and some that may see this at a later date. You know, you can see these episodes at any point in time in your life. But here's one thing that I'm very proud of you about, and a lot of youth are afraid, and I'm calling you youth, but you know, you're still like you're in your adulthood. But there are people who are under you in age and over you in age who may not be able to identify with this. So I was very proud of you when you actually said to your dad, you said, listen, you know, you didn't say it this way, but it's like, I don't like when you come at me like this. Like, you know, I want to make my own decision to do the things I want to do. And here's, you know, I just happened to be around when that text came through, and it was kind of like, he was very proud of the fact that you were able to kind of step out on that. And here's what, as a parent, we have to trust that when our kids say that we have raised them enough to be able to make that decision. And so what was the pivotal moment for you that was just kind of like, hey, look, you know, I'm gonna let this dude know that I'm my own man and I want to make my own decisions? What was the pivotal moment that just allowed that to come out of you?
All right, so pretty much I'm like a go-getter. So I know anything I want to go get, I'm gonna go get it. But you can't expect to be dependent off of other people. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to have to be independent, because that's how you grow in life. If you're independent, that's where you pretty much thrive the most. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you can have people around you guiding you into the right direction.
Yes.
But if you depend on them every single time, then you're just going to be stuck, because you ain't going to know what to do. You're just going to be lost. So that's how you learn. That's pretty much the way to learn. That's the concept of it. You're gonna have to be independent, and that's when you make the most mistakes, of course, but you have to learn from those mistakes. So that's pretty much like, you can't lure a horse to water, or what's that saying?
You can take them to the water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what it
That's
is.
A little old school. See, I can help you there. You there. A little old school. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Exactly. You got me, though. You got me. But
it's amazing. You know, if you're just tuning in, we're with DB Jr. And this young man has been a phenomenal inspiration to me as far as what youth can look like. And there's still hope, you know, he's in his 20s now. You know, I got a chance to meet him in his teens, and the inspiration you hear and the energy you hear for me has been around ever since I met him. And, you know, so I want to encourage the parents today to realize, like you said, when your child comes to you with something, if you raise them right, understand that they're going to make the right decisions. And sometimes even when they don't, because I'm sure DB Jr., I mean, just tell us the truth, you haven't always made the right decisions, right?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
So we don't want it to seem like, he just ain't making no mistakes at all. But, you made a wrong decision. Tell me how you identify with it being the wrong decision. Were there any repercussions for it and how you came out of it?
It's just something told me it wasn't the right decision, and you could like just really feel it. You know what I'm saying? You could just feel it. I'm like, is this really what I really want to do? And that's what like led me pretty much to eventually get this new job that I got, because I'm like, there's something that's missing.
Come
There's
on.
something that's missing. So that's where I took the opportunity to start working at Walmart. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and work a job that's more consistent, because I know BK, don't get me wrong, it's an easy job. It's an easy job. But I knew there's something more I can grasp onto. So that's why I took that chance, started working at Walmart for a bit, and they gave me like a consistent schedule, and it gave me that balance. And
Wow.
pretty much that's how I overcome that situation. Because I'm like, I wanted more.
Yeah.
I wanted more, but I took that chance, and then I got more of a balance.
Yeah.
So that's how that came about.
Yeah. I'm going to say congratulations to all the young men out there doing what you do. There, you mentioned two jobs that most people, at your age probably think like, I'm more qualified than this, or so you hear some young men be like, I ain't working there, like I'm not doing that. I could make more money on the streets. But let me tell you, there's repercussions that come with what you are doing when you decide to do it the wrong way. And I would tell you, DB Jr.'s father is a prime example of, making the wrong decision. He'll tell you in a heartbeat, I wasn't a bad kid. I went to college. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I had a lack. And here's two people who had the same challenge. DB Jr. said, I had a lack. I had a need. I knew there was more. I picked up another job. DB Sr. said, I know that I have more. I'm starving. I'm at Common College and I need more money. I'm going to go ahead and hit the streets. So the realities are different. And so I want to say thank you so much for being who you are and being an inspiration to young men across the world, because guess what? That's how these platforms work. You're not just touching the people where you are, you're touching people around the world now with your story. And I am so happy to see you and your father come together and be able to make what needed to happen. They're young men and older men that you both are going to touch. And I'm proud to be a part of that. So I want to thank you for being a part of the Red Room. If there's any last words that you have for someone out there, a young man out there who is wanting to thrive and they don't even know where to begin, tell them how they would begin.
Just be persistent, y'all. Never give up. Keep pushing forward. No matter how hard the situation is, just keep on going, no matter what, man.
I absolutely love it. And that's what you've been an example of. He's not telling you anything he hasn't practiced himself. I'm telling you, you are going to be blessed by his testimony. I want you all to connect with him. So please let the viewers know where they can connect with you.
All right. So if y'all want to connect with me, I have this YouTube channel called Solo Bowler. So you can hit me up on there, or you can slide through on Instagram and you can DM me and just like hit me up on there if you have like anything you need to ask, or if you need some encouragement, inspiration. It's pretty much DEEBEEJR _ on Instagram, or you can hit me up on Facebook, David Benton. And yeah, just hit me up, because I'll help you thrive for success no matter what. I'll help you get that encouragement that you need, because everybody needs it no matter what. Everybody needs, I don't care who you are, everybody needs that encouragement.
No, look, I'm kind of biased. I'm smiling. I'm proud. I'm just very, very, very proud. One, to know this young man. Two, to know that this really exists. And I hope this inspired you today. I pray that this inspired you today. To the mother who is watching this episode today, and you're saying there was no hope for my son, or there's no hope for my son, or I don't know that he can get there. These are little seeds that you can begin to plant in that son's head, and that father's head, and that cousin's head, in that nephew's head. These are a bit of seeds that you can just begin to take and sow into them. It's not over. And that's what I hear DB Jr. saying. It's not over. Even if you started in the wrong direction, there's a way that you can pivot and start going on the right path. You don't have to let your circumstance be your future at all. And so, DB Jr., I want to thank you so much for being who you are. And I know the world is going to hear so much more from you. And I am proud. I have to say this, that I am proud of you. That may not carry a lot of weight right now, but I'm very, very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me too. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So listen, this is another episode of The Red Room. I want you guys to attach yourself to DB Jr. because there's young men out there who need him. You can find him again on Instagram. You can find him. And notice how he said DM, slide in. You know, he's talking to the youth at this point, the people his age. DM me, slide on in. He's telling them, look, contact me. I got you. And if you don't feel like you have anyone that you can speak to, if you don't feel like there's anybody in your life that you can connect with, you want to do good, but you're embarrassed around the friends that you currently have because you think they're going to laugh at you. Let me explain this to you. Whenever you decide to make a change, the first thing your friends are going to do is question you. Why? The second thing they're going to do, they're going to laugh at you because they feel like you're where we are. You'll never make it. And the third thing they're going to do is cut you off when you make it. Don't be afraid to let go, because there's some other people out there waiting for you, people who are attached to your purpose, people who are attached to your destiny, people who are attached to where God wants you to be. And I believe that DB Jr. is one of those people. So connect with him, connect with him, connect with him. Also, what he did not say is he is an artist as well. So I want you guys to connect with his music. Also, when you do connect with him, you will see that his music is going to touch exactly where you are. Parents, there's still hope. There is still hope. There is still hope. Shout out to your mom as well, because we didn't talk a lot about your mom, but in the little bit of time that we do have, I just want you to just, give your mom a shout out because she had to do it with you as well. Shout out to her.
Oh yeah. Shout out to my mama because she's pretty much been dealing with it for like all her life. And she's been a trooper. Like I'm telling you, she has been a warrior, going through everything that she has went through, taking care of all of us. It's been like, of course, she's had up and downs too. And that's what I said, because no matter what, you just gotta keep on pushing forward. And now she's doing really well. She's actually doing really well. And she's been blessed to have just kids that she raised really well on top of that.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to her. Amazing woman. Again, I've had an opportunity to meet her. Amazing family. The support is everything. It really does take a village. Would you say that, DB Jr.?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, it takes a village. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I want to say thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Red Room. I'm your host, Shay Samuels, and I'm telling you, you're going to continue to be blessed. Stay tuned for another episode. Stay tuned for more testimonies. Stay tuned for more blessings, because we're going to give it to you every single week. Make sure you tell a friend who knows a friend who has a friend, maybe even a cousin or two, that The Red Room is coming on, and you will not want to miss it. I'm your host again, Shay Samuels, and I'm out. Mwah.
Blessings on blessings. Mommy love you, baby. I got my baby boy and my baby girl, and I love them like nothing else in the world. And I got God on my side. Tell my oldest I love him till the day I die. I love your smile. I love your smile. You bring me joy when you're around. You will be great. I have no doubt. You are my blessing. You are my blessing. Rainy days and sunny days. Have fun, go outside and play. Hit the playground or the park, or we could just kick back and do some art. You are my blessings, blessings. 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 I know you don't understand though. You never seen the struggle. How much moms had to hustle to give you what I could though. I'm far from perfect. Every one of you was worth it. You were my pride and joy before you touched Earth's surface. All your person personalities different. Children are a blessing. If I don't agree with you, life teaches us lessons. We don't always make the right decisions. None of you are a mistake. Seeing your smile is God's mercy. Loving you is God's grace. I'm thankful for when I wait. My oldest, we don't talk every day. I think about you on a daily. I pray always that you safe. Some days are better than others. I'll always be your mother. I love you like no other. Sister and your brothers. If you're acting out, you get tough love. You know what it is. You know wrong from right. And mom taught you right as a kid. I love you no matter what. Through the downs and the ups. You could be anything you want to be. The power is in us. I got my baby boy and my baby girl. And I love them like nothing else in the world. And I got God on my side. Tell my oldest I love him till the day I die.
I love your smile, I love your smile. You bring me joy when you're around. You will be great, I have no doubt. You are my blessings, blessings.
Rainy days and sunny days. Have fun, go outside and play. With the playground or the park. We could just kick back and do some art. You are my blessings, blessings. 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 I love you, baby. God, watch over my children for me. Through the thick and the thin. All my family, everyone else's children. We gotta pray for our youth. I love you, baby.
I want to fly so high. Oh, I wanna fly away. Oh, fly away. Ooh, let me spread my wings. Let me touch the sky.
Building the kingdom is the first thing a king will do. That's why I'm focused on the king and the queen of you. Before you make a move, think it through. Too much blood on their hand, and we know who to link it to. The thing to do is wake up, see the truth. When they see loving you, that's when they see the proof. How you believe in God? You don't believe in you. The tree of life inside of you, let them see the fruits.
The fruits of your seeds is to achieve. All you need to do is you be true and believe. And the one that put air in your lungs to breathe, he'll fight for you and me like Rocky and Creed. And the blessings you receive won't come from true breeze. You just need to stay open. Yep, Jermaine Copeland. But on that same token, these words that I spoken are to make you fly high and mine stay broken.
I want to fly so high. Oh, I wanna fly away. Oh, fly away. Ooh, let me spread my wings. Let me touch the sky.
Circumstances had me thinking I might not survive. Words from the wise, don't believe the lies. Told me, if God created us, there's gotta be a God inside. Look in the mirror, ask yourself, is he ride or die? Tears in my eyes, chills down my spine, now I'm alive. For the first time, nothing can stop me, don't even try.